Barriers Project, EDU 525, a presentation by Ann Loureiro. Missouri Leader Standards. According to the Missouri Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, leader standards are based on the National Interstate Leaders Licensure Consortium standards. They emphasize the leader as a competent manager and instructional leader who continues to seek improvement in their skills. There are 6 administrative Missouri leader standards. Standard 1, the vision of learning. Standard 2, the culture of teaching and learning. Standard 3, the management of learning. Standard 4, relationships with the community to foster learning. Standard 5, integrity, fairness, and ethics in learning. And Standard 6, professional development. Each standard has quality indicators. Standard 1 is establish and implement the vision, mission, and goals. Standard 2, promote positive school culture, provide an effective instructional program, and ensure continuous professional learning. Standard 3, manage the organizational structure, lead personnel, and manage resources. Standard 4, collaborate with families and other community members, respond to community interests and needs, and mobilize community resources. Standard 5, personal and professional responsibility. Standard 6, increase knowledge and skills based on best practices. Barriers to success. In my conversations with both former and current athletic directors, I find the most prevalent barrier to success in any of the leader standards would be time. In any of them, lack of time can be a looming barrier to success. For Standard 1 vision of learning, 2 of the main barriers I found were time and support. In regards to support, in order for your mission, vision, and goals to be effective, you must have the support of your staff for those things to actually come to fruition. Standard number 2 is the culture of teaching and learning. And again, other than time, I found one of the biggest barriers can be the consistency of procedures. With that can cause things like staff turnover, and if you don't have a good mentoring system in place, then your new teachers aren't aware of the procedures they're to follow in the first place. As Harry Wong once said, procedures, procedures, procedures. You need to know what you need to do at the appropriate time. Standard number 3, management of learning, deals with a lot of the business issues in education. Money is a big barrier here. You need enough money to maintain, repair, and improve your current facilities or look into possible new facilities while dealing with things like safety, security, and technology. Standard number 4, collaboration with families and stakeholders. Some of the biggest barriers I found here included district-level support and community willingness. In our district, we have a hard time getting our community involved with the things that are important to the students and the schools themselves, and that's been one of our biggest barriers. Integrity, fairness, and ethics in learning is standard number 5. Along with the basic time barrier, you also deal with consistency and policy adherence and evaluation. Do you currently have policies in place that meet this standard? And if you do, are you adhering to what has been set before you to deal with any type of issues that may involve this standard? And our final standard is number 6, professional development. Again, we have the time constraint along with the available money, making sure that we have time to schedule our professional development and the proper technology needs to make sure that the professional development occurs. There are several ways that you can increase the likelihood of success to overcome your barriers. One of the most important ones that I found is to set goals, specifically what we call SMART goals. SMART stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time sensitive. And if you stick to these goals, it makes it easier for you to overcome the barriers that might get in your way to success. Another way to increase your success is by developing your skills. We do this through training, practicing. We also need to get feedback often and look at that feedback so that we can make changes where necessary. And finally, we need to stick to our accountability plans. We need to hold each other professionally responsible and accountable for our actions so that we can improve and have more success in our classrooms. Other suggestions for how to overcome barriers would include things like involving all of our stakeholders for improved relations in our community, such as ministers, police departments, community members, as well as staff and students. We also need to create a culture of respect and trust among our staff so that we can reduce staff turnover and improve productivity among the staff and the students. We can also make sure that we have checks and balances in place for responsible spending in our district. That way we don't end up with a lot of debt and we can continue to have extracurricular activities for our students to succeed at. This concludes my presentation. Thank you for listening.